So I recently shared with you guys this story about a tasker who is making over $100,000 primarily doing moving and mounting jobs on Taskrabbit. Yes, you can make pretty good money on Taskrabbit. I've been on Taskrabbit as a tasker for about, since the end of 2018, basically 2019, we'll say. And let's just say I've had a pretty good experience as a whole, because I'm still here, right? I'm still not going back to doing software sales in the 9 to 5 and working for someone else, building up someone else's empire. Is it possible that I might? Absolutely. As I continue to get older physically, I don't know if I want to be out there doing moving jobs when I'm like 70, right? Hopefully I'm retired by then, but I want to find something that I'm able to continue to do even after retirement, so to speak. That's why I threw out 70. So TaskRabbit might not be the ultimate, lifetime career. But if you're looking to make pretty good money now and over the short term, over the next few years, yes, you can absolutely make pretty good money. Actually, check out this video if you want. I have a link to it down below, or I'll have a little card thing up above where you guys can watch this video that I did covering this story. Very inspiring. I love hearing motivational and inspiring stories that you hear about an underdog who is able to make it, to do well, and maybe hasn't made it yet, but it's pretty good when you go from having to work 6 jobs to only doing one that is making more than all of those 6. So now, all of that said, TaskRabbit isn't only roses, right? It's not, nothing's perfect, right? Nothing is perfect, but they tend to go through these phases or periodically where they just tweak the algorithm, and it's never usually good for taskers who are, experienced or on the platform for a little while and are used to things being a particular way. And it's, I guess, a lesson that we can all take as taskers with being on this platform, or any platform at that, is that you're not in control, and you do want to consider working on other ways to potentially generate business, or at least positioning yourself so that you can endure any pain that you might experience when some of these changes are being made. And what I'm specifically talking about here is how the article makes a reference to Anyamali talking about some of the change, like business basically slowing down on TaskRabbit, or just, for whatever reason, all of a sudden you're not appearing when people are going to search for a particular service. You're not really appearing high where you may have been among the first 5 or 10 people, posted or listed as options. Well, now you're not on the first page, but you're on the second or third or fourth page, which makes it much more difficult for you to get hired and make money. But reading this article, it says, recently he suffered from a algorithm change. He says, TaskRabbit used to rank its search results by highest reviews, but now it ranks them by lowest price. Now you have to go to a third page to even find me, he says, but I understand, and I also have the choice to reduce my prices to pick up more jobs. A TaskRabbit spokesperson acknowledged the algorithm change in an email exchange with CNBC. Make it. Overall, we are working to provide the best match possible between taskers looking for work and clients looking for help, the spokesperson wrote. We do this by ensuring tasks are distributed effectively across our tasker community so that our clients are matched with a tasker who can do the job at a reasonable price, and more taskers are able to receive more opportunities to earn money. So ultimately, TaskRabbit is they're admitting and acknowledging that yes, we do tweak the algorithm, and it is going to potentially negatively harm some of our taskers, specifically maybe the top taskers that have a higher price, and they're doing it because they want to, again, ensure more taskers are having the opportunity of getting jobs, getting booked. So, TaskRabbit's great, but it also has its flaws, and this is a good example of it. And one of the other components that they have is like passing up jobs, accepting jobs, and not completing jobs. And sometimes when they'll go to review a situation as to why you did not accept a job, you get penalized when you probably shouldn't have been. And that will potentially affect your positioning of where you are shown to prospective customers, which again will result in how much money you make, or don't make. So I say all of this because, of course, no gig app, no platform is perfect. And specifically when it comes to TaskRabbit, they do make these algorithm tweaks every once in a while that can have a major detrimental impact on your business, especially if you're fairly new to TaskRabbit and you're seeing business just flowing in, and then all of a sudden it just gets cut, nothing. That can be very challenging. And that's part of the reason I made this channel. I could have just said, hey, let's just call it TaskRabbit, making money on TaskRabbit. But instead, I wanted to focus on being able to make money, but also managing and then growing that money and putting myself in a position where I was able to make pretty good money on TaskRabbit, and I continue to. I can definitely say I've experienced right now, I would say probably this past October was most likely my worst October ever while being on TaskRabbit. And a lot of that was my own fault, which it triggered the algorithms to work their magic, so to speak, and penalize me, punish me, so to speak, and said, okay, if you don't want these jobs, you don't want to work, we're not going to give you, any more opportunities to make some money. And so, I wouldn't be someone putting myself in a position where I'm going to just talk bad and say, no, because a lot of that was my own doing from the jump, which then it has a snowball effect with the algorithm changes and the timing that they were implemented. Because I could have made those same exact actions and did exactly what I did, which was pass up a few jobs 2 months earlier, and it would not have had as much of a negative result, conclusive decision as to me not getting work anymore or not being shown as much. Yeah. All of that said, I can still tell people in a confident way that, if you're looking to make some extra money or make money, to consider signing up with TaskRabbit. But you got to be mindful of these algorithm changes and that business might not continue to flow the next month like it did the previous month, right? And, there's other aspects to that I think people need to think about. If you are part of this gig economy, you got to start to think about yourself like a business. And one way to do that is by consider investing in a CRM. And I'm actually in the process of rolling out a new CRM that will help those of you part of the TaskRabbit community and maybe other gig communities too. Again, you got to think about yourself like a business. So if you're self-employed, you got to think about yourself like a business, and you got to manage your task jobs like customers, and you got to start to track your jobs and where you're making money, when you're making money, how much you're making, and that will make it so much easier to predict or foresee potentially when things are going to slow down or when things will pick up, and what you should focus on and maybe what you shouldn't focus on. So consider getting a CRM. Like I said, I'll have a link to my CRM down below, and you got to just start to think about yourself like a business and not put yourself in a position where you're only relying on one source of leads, because TaskRabbit is essentially a lead generator for you. And yeah, you can say business is slowing down this month only because TaskRabbit slows down, and maybe you're not doing anything else to offset that difference of what you would like to see, because you're not approaching any other potential avenues of generating new leads and business, more money. So, we can bash TaskRabbit all we want. They're owned by a top dog, and the point is for them to make money. So they are going to make these tweaks here and there. And you either got to play the game where you lower your rates and you work with them, which is what I'm doing right now for the first time in a few years, because I want to play the game, or you keep your rates where they are. If you don't get money or business through TaskRabbit, that is what it is, because you're hopefully focused elsewhere as well. Or you just understand that, hey, it's going to be slow for a bit, but I knew that and I prepared for it. And maybe you did, maybe you didn't. If you want more help, more guidance with making, managing, and growing your money, well, consider checking out this video next.